should be visible for everyone. So the chat is visible. Whoever is writing into the chat, it will be visible for everyone. But we will wait a little bit. I think I messed a little bit up because I moved the date several times. I had some issues, let's say, let's call it like that. So I had to postpone it several times, and it can be that people a little bit lost the control about the date. Sorry for that. So that's why we will give everyone a little bit more time to join, and then we will continue. Then we will start. I'm really excited about the topic today because I prepared a little bit different view on the ApeCoin. Yeah. Also, it was hard to join. I'm on the phone. Yeah, this is, I understand that. So we are usually working with Click Meeting, and Click Meeting is not really that perfect for the mobile use, but they have an app, and this app could be, it's free, of course, and it could be installed. And if you are using then this app, it should be better. But I don't know. So we had already from the company point of view idea to switch to another platform. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, Click Meeting has a really good functionalities if you are working with lots of people. In some cases, we have webinars. We are usually running lots of webinars. And if you run webinars with more than 200 or 300 people, the platforms like Zoom and all those platforms have some trouble. And Click Meeting was the best, at least in our test. So I don't know. There are benefits, of course. There are advantages, but also disadvantages. So we are now still testing, let's say, and maybe we will switch. We will see. So I suggest we already start, and who join us later, perfect. If not, that's it. I will record it, and of course, whoever has our NFTs will be able to access the recordings as well. That's why this is great. And maybe I will even make it public. I have to see, so I have to discuss it in the team. Maybe we make this presentation public for everyone as well, because I think it's interesting. And I think I will give you a view which you usually don't have if you analyze the cryptocurrencies or even other projects. And it doesn't matter if those projects are NFT-based projects, cryptocurrency projects, or even real-life projects. I will show you how I am actually analyzing those projects and what is for me important to understand. And if you analyze the projects in that way, then you have a totally different view on those projects. And if we are talking about the cryptocurrency, usually the cryptocurrency, people treat it like a stock, stock exchange, like stocks, and they see the value, and then the value is moving up and down, and then maybe you invest or maybe you not invest. I see it differently. I see it as a project, and I see it as a business. And I'm trying to understand first what was the reason why the people published this cryptocurrency, if we can call it like that, or project. What is the idea behind and what is the business behind? If everything is fine, if everything is giving the clear picture, let's say, to me, then I invest in this kind of projects, or then I'm running those projects in real life in the company which I have. So usually this kind of presentation like I have it today should show you this kind of analysis or analyzing the projects. So let me just start with some very basic statements, which I think that are very important. The first one is the story of the crypto is the story of the people. This is very important. So there is something like crypto, which is just like that in the air. There are always people behind, and there are always certain intentions behind. If I'm talking about the people, I'm talking about individuals, of course, but I'm talking also about the communities. So these are more or less the teams of the people, the groups of the people. And I'm talking about the companies. So this means the story of the crypto is the story of communities, individuals, and companies. And that's why during the presentation today and during the training today, we will discuss exactly this point. We will talk about the story, and we will talk about the main actors of the story and how these guys are influencing the story. On the other side, you should know that the story of the ApeCoin is at the same time the story of the business. So the actors, the main actors of this story, created the ApeCoin with certain intention. And one of the intentions is, of course, to make profit. So we should never forget that. Even if the small steps in the projects are sometimes maybe looking like a charity or like something where the profit is not in the focus, it is, of course, it's a company behind, it's a strategy behind, and so on. And we as investors, as a people who are analyzing this world and these projects, we should understand all that in order to make our own decision. But before we continue, let me just tell you that I'm an engineer, I'm not financial advisor. Whatever I tell you today, please take it just like an information, make based on that your own research, and use it as actually as an idea to go more deep into the detail. That's everything. It's entertainment, it's a transfer of knowledge, which I think I have, and at the end, it's just my point of view. It could be wrong as well. So that's why analyze by yourself, please, and make your decisions based on that. What are the targets for today? So we are planning around 1 hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit long. So I think around 1 hour I need to tell you everything what I want to tell you. And we will reach following targets. First, we will learn what is actually ApeCoin. We will touch the point how it's working and who is controlling actually formally the ApeCoin and what is happening with the ApeCoin. We will discuss a lot, and this is, I think, the most important part, the future. But in order to understand and predict the future, you have to understand the history, and you have to understand the politics and strategies of the main actors of the story. So that's why I will never tell you, if you buy the coin, you will be rich, or this or that company will do this or that. Nobody can know that, of course. But I can give you some interesting points about the strategy, and based on that, you can make your own conclusions, which are sometimes very obvious, at least from my point of view. We will touch a little bit point about how to buy this cryptocurrency, because some of you are probably beginners and maybe never bought any kind of cryptocurrency. So that's why I will give you an information how to do that as well. In very simple steps, just briefly going through it. And at the end, I will give you some interesting and I think important points about how to protect the cryptocurrency, because security is nowadays very important. Scammers are very important, or not important, but they are existing, and we have to protect ourselves and our digital assets somehow. Before we go, and the last point, please don't think that I will give you any kind of advice how you can invest or become rich. This is up to you, and you have to decide by yourself if you want to invest, and if yes, what does it mean actually for you. Before we go into the detail, let me please give you an overview about Ape School project. Sorry. And about myself, because I think it's important to understand who is talking to you actually, and which background do we have, and why the points that we are giving you today could be really like they are. So we are first the NFT-based or educational-based project, or educational NFT project, however you want. And we are using NFTs not to sell them and not to create the collections and sell them to many people. We are using NFTs, let's say, to motivate the people to be part of the education, to educate themselves. We are using NFTs to reward the people, and of course to identify the people. If I'm talking about motivation and reward, and during our trainings, we are usually giving the NFTs as a giveaway, and quite a lot of them. And the reason why we are doing that is because we want first to motivate, and the money is mostly motivating the best. And NFTs are equal money. You can sell them and earn real money with that. On one side, and on the other side, if you get and receive some kind of money, financial support, like in this case NFT, you should learn immediately how to get it. You should learn how to install MetaMask. You should learn how to use OpenSea and to see the NFT and so on. So this means we are pushing you more or less in direction learning how to work with NFTs by giving you some of those NFTs. So these NFTs are, of course, not the blue chip NFTs. This is not the target. The target is to push you to learn something, and basically to learn all those things which we are not teaching in the school. So we are not teaching in the school how to install the MetaMask. We are not teaching in the school how to, I don't know, to mint and these kind of things, although those things are very important and everybody should know them. I'm totally sure, but these are not the basics which we think that are important. We think that before you learn how to mint and before you learn to use the MetaMask, you should understand the basics, means you should understand the technology that you are using, like blockchain. You should not maybe go deep into the detail, and you should definitely not be the developer, maybe, unless you want that, for sure. But you should understand what are the characteristics, how it's done and how it's working, what is the philosophy behind, what algorithms are used, and so on. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to create your own strategies. For example, security, in security direction, how to protect your assets, and so on. And of course, you will not have the base to construct and to build on top on that base. So what we are doing, basically, we are teaching those basics, and based on that, you are able to recognize your opportunities and then to build on top whatever you want in direction that you like to go. I'm by myself, I'm an entrepreneur, so I am running a company, and I will explain a little bit more about my company in a few seconds. Now, why is this important in this context? It's important because the point of view which I have is sometimes different than point of view which typical teachers have. Usually typical teachers are teaching you the basics, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you install this and install that. This is fine, this is needed, definitely, but I'm more focused on the opportunities that you can have, and you should recognize them. And then I'm focused on the business concepts which are behind and which you can use for yourself, either privately or for your business. I'm also owner of the Mutant Apes, and I'm telling that because it's very important for me from 2 points or 2 perspectives. First, the mutants are enabling me to access the community, which I think that it's in the moment the blue chip community, let's say. It's a community which is, from my point of view, directing the development of the space, because this is not the only community, of course. There are other communities and other collections as well which are doing the same. But I think one of the most important communities in the moment is the community of the Bored Apes and mutant apes in this case. That's why it was important for me to have access to these resources. That's why we bought the Mutant Ape. And on the other side, Mutant Ape is giving us the possibility to tell the story, to create the story. Because we own the IP rights, it was easy, let's say, to take the mutant and to have immediately the face of the school. It's like a Mickey Mouse, but in this case, it's a Professor Keating. Okay, so we have, to be honest, just 2 kinds of trainings. We have master classes, which are quite complex. Actually, there are 7 lessons within those master classes, and there are more than 13 hours which we need in order to explain all the details of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. But after that, I'm totally sure that you will understand absolutely the complete basics and everything, how the system is working. And I see some students are present today, which visited our masterclass, and I think they can confirm that. After the masterclass, the students are getting NFT free of charge based on Ethereum network. There are no fees, anything, even gas fees are paid by the school. The reason for that is following. I have 2 reasons. One reason is I want to support the artists. So this means every lesson, means every masterclass is ending with a different artist, who is creating, of course, NFT. And we are paying that artist. So this means it's a kind of support for the artist to develop different NFTs. We are using different artists. And this is the way, let's say, how do we support the art community and the art itself. This is one thing. And another point is we want to give our students possibility to be identified, and by that, to enjoy the postgraduate program. And postgraduate program it's actually the second thing and the second way that we have as a training, and a set of the benefits, let's say, which everybody can enjoy who has our NFT. And there are special trainings inside which can be called more advanced trainings. They are not always advanced, but they are very focused. I will show you in a few seconds one of those trainings, and you will understand immediately what is the strategy behind. Masterclasses are totally free, and the NFT which students are getting after that masterclass is totally free as well. So this is really good. Of course, the NFTs can be both on the secondary market as well, if somebody wants, and then you can skip the masterclass and enjoy immediately the benefits of the postgraduate program. We are even planning our small collections. Actually, it should be the big one with 10,000 NFTs, and we wanted to mint in August in order to enable lots of people to enjoy the postgraduate program. But of course, based on the market situation in the moment, I think this will be very difficult to do. And most probably, we will mint in several waves. So this means the first one, and the waves should be the smaller amount of the NFTs at once. And the first one will be in end of the August, I think, and we will mint around 1,000 of the NFTs. Those NFTs we call masters of blockchain, because we are creating out of our students, the masters of blockchain. This is our target, and those NFTs should show you that you are becoming the master of blockchain. Those guys are the people like you and me, and that's why I think everybody can identify with some of those guys. But the major idea is to own it and to be able to access all the benefits which we have and which are related to postgraduate program, like we call it. The prices are over there to be seen. So in the pre-sales, it will be around 0.05 Ether. And if you want to be whitelisted, I still have spots on the whitelist. Just send me a DM wherever you want on Twitter or maybe on LinkedIn, and I will include you in the whitelist. I think it's a good opportunity to get something like Netflix for the knowledge in the space, because you pay once 0.05 Ether, and you can use it, let's say, as whatever you like, to enjoy all those benefits, like documents that you can download, like special trainings, like meetups and conferences, and so on. And by the way, in November, we are taking 3 of our holders to Portugal, to the Web Summit, and with all costs included. So the school is paying everything, means the flight, the hotel, and access to the conference, to the summit. You just have to take care about the food by yourself, and that's it for 3 of them. So it's not bad. Let me give you a few sentences about myself. I'm totally doxed, so all the details that you like to know about me, you can find easily. And for that, for example, I will give you in the chat the link to the LinkedIn profile where you can see my history and everything. I'm Darko Pavic. I'm living in Germany, and I'm actually engineer. I started my career as a developer, as a software developer, in the company called Siemens Nixdorf, for many years ago. So I think 27 years ago or something like that. So I'm like a dinosaurier, or what is the English word? So the old guy in this new world. And my company I'm running since 19 years. So it's not the startup company. We are providing IT solutions for the big retailers, big international retailers. And usually people are calling me not only Chief Executive Officer, but also Chief Vision Officer, because I have some kind of crazy ideas about the future. And one of the ideas was, of course, this presentation and Ape School and the whole project as well. I love crypto, I love Web3 space, I love social networks. I think all of that is very good, and I think the humanity need that, but we just have to run it on the proper way. Just a few words about the company behind, because this is, of course, the largest sponsor of all this, of Ape School as well. So we are producing software. Our software is used by the international retailers. You see some of the names on the right side. Those guys are using our software modules if they are expanding in different countries around the world. Today, we are covering 17 countries, and these are the dogs that I have. I have 2 of them. Sorry for that. And in those countries, the retailers are using our solution. And the other group of the customers that we have are big international software vendors like Oracle, Aptos, Infor, and so on. What is also very interesting, we are very active in the international groups which are dictating, defining, and working on a different standards. And I think for developers among you, you will definitely know these groups. One of them is OMG, which is developing the technical standards, let's say. And for the developers, they will know UML, which is one of the world famous standards for the development, Unified Modeling Language. Within that group, we are heading the group which is defining the standards about the fiscalization. That's what we are doing around the world. The second one is more a European one, and we are not heading the group over there, but we are just active part of the group. So this means we have a daily contact with those companies, the big retailers and big IT providers. And I can tell you, everybody is today talking about Web3. And that's why it's not big surprise that we are also talking about that. And it's not big surprise that I'm talking about that today, and especially about ApeCoin. Okay, this is about me very shortly and about the company. In internet, you can find me as a Professor John Keating. Why John Keating? Because there was a very interesting movie, and I think some of you know for sure that movie, called Dead Poet Society. And in that movie, there was a professor, teacher called John Keating. And he was a very special guy. I can really recommend, check this movie. It's really interesting. There is real value in that movie. And the reason why I took this name is that one. I misspell it intentionally because of the copyrights. So actually the John Keating is written on a different way, but the pronunciation is very similar. So that's why the small changes in the spelling of the name. So I told you that our school is very special because we have very special view, which is coming, of course, due to business experience, which I have, but we are also focusing on very special problems that we have in the Web3 space. And that's why I want to invite you to join me on this session. So we recognize the problem which parents have with those children which are very active, and young adults which are very active in the Web3 space. The parents should help them, of course, should support them, but how to support own children if you don't understand what the children are doing? So it can happen that you think that children are doing bad things, but actually they are earning good money with great NFT projects, for example, or they are maybe doing trading or whatever. And actually it's a good thing, but you as a parent are not able to recognize that. For that, we have something that we call summer camp, crypto summer camp for parents. It will be, there are 2 sessions on 2 days, and we will teach the parents about the blockchain, cryptocurrency, NFTs, and everything what children, I call them children, but these are young adults actually, are doing, let's say, with all those technologies. We will run through the play to earn games. I will teach the parents, is it good or bad, let's say, what are the risks and what are the potentials which they can recognize, how to add the educational aspects which parents should have to the aspects of education which the game is doing by itself. If the children are playing play to earn games, they are definitely learning how to work with money, because cryptocurrency is money. And I want to teach parents that. Nobody is doing that in the moment. I don't know why, but this is big point. So I think it will be very valuable for the parents, especially for young parents, because of course they are new in this world as well. But this is not the topic for today. The topic for today is ApeCoin. By the way, feel free to join us. It's free, and of course, and I will just now put the link in the chat. If you want to join, you just need to register. It's basically name and email address, nothing else, so that I can inform you as we are starting. It will be great to have you, and I think the value will be really, really good, especially if you have children. If not, ask your friends which have to join. This will help them. But today we will talk about ApeCoin, and I have to say you, I invested by myself in ApeCoin as well. So I have some ApeCoins. This could be interesting for you because maybe you will think, if I'm talking about positive about this, that I want to move you to invest by yourself as well, and by that push the price. Of course, this will not be possible because the amount of the people which is here on the training is too small. But this is not my intention. I will give you positive and negative sides, because I see also some disadvantages which we have in the moment, or not disadvantages, some topics that should be done better, let's say, and where we have to work. I mean our ApeCoin community. But we will discuss this later on. So you should know that I invested by myself in that coin as well. Let's start with the definition of the ApeCoin. I will first read it, and I think the best definition was done by the ApeCoin community or by ApeCoin DAO itself. That in the moment as it was published, and this was on the 16th of March, they published this tweet, which is actually perfectly defining the ApeCoin. They are telling us that ApeCoin is a token for culture, gaming, and commerce used to empower a decentralized community building at the forefront of Web3. Okay, so let's go into the detail a little bit and let's understand what is basically behind all of those words. They are not just like that. There is a meaning behind them. And the guys who wrote it, he was thinking something. And let's try to analyze and to understand what is actually the information behind. First, it's a token. So we should understand that there are cryptocurrencies and tokens. These are two different worlds. And this will be one of the first topics that we will just discuss in a second. What does it mean to be token? It's something else than to be the cryptocurrency. Usually people are mixing these two things. Then it's in the several words coming after the word token for, we have actual propose of the token described. It should be for the culture, it should be for the gaming and for the commerce. What is actually culture? What's happening in the moment? I call it usually, if I'm doing masterclasses, I call it revolution. Revolution means that the setup of the people is changing, and by that, the technology is changing, the mentality is changing, everything is changing. And those changes are creating the new culture. New culture, how the people are communicating with each other, how the people are getting together, how the communities are created. This is everything philosophy, mentality, and culture. So this coin should actually help to create this new culture. This is something which is very specific, and I didn't see this kind of thoughts in any kind of currencies or tokens which were created in the past. Gaming, very important point. If we are talking about the gaming, you should know that the major driver of the development of metaverse, for example, and even Web3 space is gaming. And gaming, not just like entertainment, but as well, gaming is also huge business. And I told you in the beginning, behind all of those things is actually business and the strategy to make the profit. Gaming is perfect way, perfect universe to make the profit. So ApeCoin should help to implement the right business strategies in the area of the gaming. You will see it later on. The pictures will get together if I show you all pieces why the gaming is so important. And the third point is commerce. What does it actually mean? Commerce means possibility to exchange values. This is commerce. There is no business without possibility to exchange values. So you can trade with something, or you can do something to trade with that. And this is the way how the trading can be enabled. And this is commerce. That's why it's definitely for the business purposes as well. It should empower us, means community, which is decentralized, means there should be no company which is controlling it. It should be controlled by the community to build and to create that revolution that I was talking about a few seconds before. So to create Web3. This is a really nice philosophy, and this one sentence is describing, from my point of view, perfectly the philosophy of ApeCoin. I liked this already a lot. But now we should go a little bit more in detail, and we should discuss some of very important points. And I think we will go even a little bit more in technique to understand the basics. So I told you in the beginning, in the definition, you see already that there is one point called token. And I told you that there is a differentiation between currency and token. I'm not sure if you know the difference. Please write in the chat if you know the difference between currency and token. It's not that common that people know that. So if you write no, this is okay. I will give you now in a second the very nice and very interesting and very simple explanation of what is token and what is currency. So if you just write yes or no, then I know if shall I go more into the detail, or if it's okay, let's say, and understanding is there. Currency is monetary token utility, more or less. But you are going into the right direction, but it's very simple actually. So let me do it like this. So I will show you first the currency. So this is €1. Okay, it's a fiat and it's currency. You can understand on the same way the cryptocurrency. It's like a fiat, it's a money, it's a value. You can buy something with that. And now I will show you the token. And I'm not sure that you can see, but this token has a value of $1,000 because it's used for poker. It's a chip, let's say, from the casino, which has value of €1,000. So dollar in this case, sorry. So this is token, it has certain value. This is currency, it has certain value. You can use this currency in the country, so it means in a certain universe where it's pushed by the law, so you have to use it, or you can use it. And this one is like a law in the different universe in the casino. You can buy with this token maybe in that casino some merch, or maybe you can buy even some food if the casino has some kind of, I don't know, supermarket inside or whatever. But if you leave the casino, you will not be able to pay with that because it's valid only in that universe. This one is maybe valid only in the universe of the country. So the place where it's used, it's not the differentiation point. The differentiation point is the value. So this is representing the value and this is the value. So this is the biggest difference. And now if we are talking about ApeCoin, we are talking about ApeCoin token actually, and we are talking about fungible token. And fungible token means I could have a second token as well, which has the same value, and it doesn't matter if I use this one to buy the water in the casino or I use this one to buy the water. Actually, it's the same. I can exchange them, but the value is still the same. So this is fungible token. Okay, don't mix it with non-fungible token, which is actually NFT. So the ApeCoin, it's actually fungible token, which has a certain value. In order to create it really valuable, you need universe where you can use it. In this case, casino. So this means ApeCoin without universe would be without value. So we need value of the ApeCoin, or what is actually the biggest part of the value of the ApeCoin is universe where you can use it. Imagine again casino, if there are lots of things, call it utility, which you can use in that casino with this token, everybody would like to have it and demand will increase. If there is just one utility, means I can play just poker, nothing else, I'm not a poker player, so it's not valuable for me. So this means there will be no demand. And this is now, you just understood, I'm sure, the dynamics of the tokenization and economics which are behind the tokens. But let's continue a little bit technically still. So these kind of tokens on the Ethereum network are called Ethereum Request for Comment, means ERC tokens, in this case ERC20 tokens. Let's discuss this wording, ERC20. What does it mean actually? ERC means Ethereum Request for Comment. It's nothing else than change request. If somebody is coming from the IT and from development, he will know what I'm talking about. If you develop software, and by the way, blockchain is just software, nothing else. If you develop software and you develop certain number of the functionalities of the functions and you deliver that, every change which is coming should be controlled somehow. So not everything should be implemented. Maybe there are some influences between functions. So you have to be very careful if you are defining the changes of the software. In the systems like blockchain, those changes are defined in the documents, which are called ERC documents. Ethereum Request for Comment. It's a like request for change. So actually you are writing what do you want to change. Community is discussing if they want to change that. And if yes, this document is getting the stamp, in this case, number 20. So this was the change request number 20, which influenced the Ethereum blockchain to implement the tokens. In this case, it's a standard which is defining how the smart contracts are developed in order to realize, to implement those fungible tokens. This is the standard that ApeCoin is following. You should know that because there is a similar process how to implement some changes which is controlling, let's say, the usage of the ApeCoins. We will discuss this later. Okay, so this means there is a standard on the Ethereum blockchain which is defining how the coin, in this case token, should be developed. And to be honest, this ERC20 token is not really complex. There are just a couple of functions inside. And the most important are actually 6 of them. But if you group them, you can sort them in the functions which are defining how the tokens are stored. And there are a group of the functions which are defining how the tokens are moved from one address on the blockchain to another one. That's it, basically. You should know that Ethereum and all those implementations are actually open source. ApeCoin as well. So ApeCoin is a software implementation. It's a smart contract, which is open source. Everybody can check how it's implemented. Everybody can see the details, even bad guys, scammers, even hackers, or whoever. So everybody can do that. And you can easily take this document, you can easily take this smart contract, you can make the copy, you can rename it, and suddenly you have Ape School coin. You could do that, I could do that, but this is not really something which is giving the value to the Ape coin. Even if I'm doing that, my Ape School token would not have the value like Ape School, or like ApeCoin, token has. And the reason is the universe. I don't have universe, and I don't have an image, and I don't have the strategy behind, and I don't have the company behind, and so on. We will discuss now this point. What is actually, what are the points which are giving the value to the token? And I think this is very important because everybody can create ERC20 token, but the fact that you can create is not creating the value. So this means we should think about what is actually creating the value. And these are the topics that I want to discuss today with you, because in that topics, deep in that topics, there is a, let's say, secret which can help you to understand what is the universe where this token should be used or is used in the moment and will be used in the future. Based on that, you can make your decision if you want to do something with that token or not. And based on that, you can create your own business strategies and your own business models or private models or whatever. So I see 6 points which are important if you are analyzing the projects in general, and especially the tokens like ERC20 tokens. First, and the most important thing is the story. So what is the story behind? What is the history? And what is actually political and economical environment of that story? What is the future of that story? Is there a roadmap? Who are the actors? Who are the most important companies and the people which are involved? This is everything related to the story. The second point are the actors. Who is actually influencing and what are the interests of the people, companies, and communities inside? I told you in the beginning, the story of the crypto is actually the story of the people, means community, companies, and individuals. This is that. Who are those individuals and who are those companies and who is the key player? If you find the key player, and this is the major game that you have if you analyze, you have to find the key player and to understand the key player. If you understand the key player, you will understand the project. And I will give you my view about the key player in the ApeCoin project. What are the utilities which are related to this coin, this token? I told you that in the in the casino, you can maybe use it as something to pay water on the bar, or maybe you can go into the supermarket, or you can buy merch or whatever. So these are the utilities which are related to the token. What are those utilities in the context of ApeCoin? We will discuss a little bit that as well. Then you have 3 factors which are influencing the value, but I see them as a more or less indirect influencing the value. First one is market capitalization. This is showing actually how strong is the coin. So this means the total supply of the token multiplied with the actual value in that moment is giving you the value, total value of that coin, token, whatever asset. If this value is high, you can see that the value of the token is high. Sometimes this is influencing the value of the token itself, because people are thinking like this: if this is really valuable, it must be good. So demand is created and people are buying. Trading volume is very interesting and very important. It's showing you the demand. If there is a trading volume, this means that people want to trade. People see in this token as interesting. They are buying and selling. If nobody is buying, this means it's not interesting for anybody. Or maybe they are keeping it, but usually it's not good sign. And then the chart analysis, or the chart itself, which is basically historical analysis or analysis of the history. It could be very important. There are lots of people which are analyzing the developments of the assets based on those chart analysis. I don't understand them really, so it's a really science, interesting and really complex science. Some of the investors are really good in analyzing those charts, and they are using them to predict the future and then to make the investment decisions based on that. I'm not using that. I don't understand them really. Sometimes I'm looking a little bit and maybe I understand basics, but it's not that important for me. For me, the most important are those first three elements, like story, actors, and utilities. This is what I think is the most important. We will discuss now all those three elements. So let's start with the targets and organization of the ApeCoin project. You have to understand that as well. I showed you the definition on the beginning, and it's clearly showing that the target of this coin, of this token, was Web3. So Web3 was totally in mind. It should become something like a native currency of the Web3 ecosystem. Definitely. And this is quite okay. They had gaming in mind, but they had, so means entertainment, but they had also commerce, means business in mind. And these are the targets of the organization. These are the targets of the ApeCoin. It was developed for the community, and it should be controlled by the community. Okay. And it should be decentralized. We discussed that already. And the ApeCoin was initialized and published actually by Yuga Labs. But Yuga Labs is not controlling it anymore. I think most of you know who is Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs is owning the two, or not just two, several, even 3 or 4 different NFT collections, which are like blue chips collections. Everybody knows them. One of them is Bored Ape Yacht Club, and of course, they have a very good image in the space, and they are very important. And it was very interesting that they are issuing this kind of web coin. But today, they are not controlling directly, at least, this project, this coin. They are using it to implement own utilities. They are using it to implement, let's say, currency in own space, like I call it ape space, because it's mostly directed by the apes. But it's any other NFT community like Doodles or whoever could do the same. They could take the ApeCoin and they could create the utilities around that, and they could have on that way their own, let's say, space which is controlled and which is fueled, let's call it like that, with ApeCoin as well. So Yuga Labs just initiated, and it's not really controlling it in the moment. The control of the project is actually done by 3 different parts or groups of the people. One, and the most important, is the DAO itself. DAO means decentralized autonomous organization. Actually, it's a representation of the community. Whoever buys an ape, even just one coin, one token, is a part of that DAO. And as a part of that DAO, you can vote, and you can make, or at least take part on the decisions which are done by the DAO. So this means DAO is actually collecting the ideas, creating the ideas, and making the decisions if the ideas should be implemented or not. If the ideas for the implementation, and now remember the change request story about ERC20 token. In the world of ApeCoin, it's called Ape Improvement Proposal Process. And by that, and there is a number after that, of course, this is the process which is used to implement the changes. So if somebody has an idea, the process, Ape Improvement Proposal Process, is started, and if it's accepted at the end, it's getting the number at stamp, and it's implemented. The implementation of those changes and those ideas is controlled and executed by the Ape Foundation. You can imagine it as a group of the people which is taking care that the decisions which were done by the DAO are really executed. And in order to be able to control those 2 parts and to synchronize them, there is a DAO board, ApeCoin DAO board, which is on one side doing the administrating the DAO itself, and which is oversighting, let's say, the Ape Foundation, that everything is functioning and working like it should. I told you in the beginning, if you buy just one of those coins of tokens, you are immediately member of the DAO. There are in the moment around 4,200 members, and this is great. And these guys are influencing how the money is spent actually. I think I see at least a small disadvantage in this construction as well, and this is the missing strategy for the income from the business point of view. You need, of course, also somehow the ways to earn the money and not just to spend. In the moment, the focus is just on the spending the money, and I didn't see anything which is creating the strategy how the income will be created. So this means in some moment in the future, it can happen that there is no more money, that DAO cannot work because there is nothing to work with, and the income strategy is not there. There is no income. This could, let's say, be bad for the project, but I strongly believe that on the road and just as a system is starting, the strategy will be defined. I'm quite sure, especially if you see who is in the board. And now this is very important, because I told you in the beginning, you have to understand the major, who is the key player, and you have to understand, let's say, the interests of the different people and different companies and different communities, and how do they relate with each other. And now the story is becoming very interesting. So let's see first who is sitting in the board, and by that actually controlling the DAO and Ape Foundation, or at least supporting the DAO and foundation. We have very influential people in that board. So let's go a little bit through them. So we have we have Alexis, who is co-founder of Reddit. Very good, very huge name. We have Amy, who is head of FTX. FTX, you know who is FTX. This is exchange platform, and this part of FTX is actually investment part. So it's great. You have Horizon Labs, very good, very great and big investment company as well, big in the space, huge in the space. You have, of course, Sound Ventures, which is actually investor as well, and you have Animoca. And this is now something which I think it's really important, because if you go step ahead and if you analyze a little bit more how the connections between those companies is, now we will find something which maybe can shock you. First, let's see this one. You know that the metaverse, which is just in development, called Other Side, is a huge thing. And by the way, they are just in the moment, there is a stress test running. So Other Side asked everybody who has the plot in the metaverse to join this stress test. I hope several thousands of people will be today and just now in that metaverse to test the technology. And if this is successful, this will be huge, because technologically, this will be the first metaverse which can host so many players and actors in the game at once. This will be huge. But who is involved in this, in the creation of the space, in the creation of the metaverse? And you will see now two important logos. You will see Animoca and you will see Yuga Labs. Of course, all others are as well very important, but these two are the most important. And now I will tell you what I strongly believe. I strongly believe that the major key player in complete ApeCoin game is actually Animoca, not Yuga Labs and nobody else. I think it's really Animoca. I think Animoca is the powerful main actor, and I strongly believe that Yuga Labs is a powerful marketing tool which is actually in combination and in partnership with Animoca creating something huge. Why do I think like that? Because first, Animoca is part of the Other Side project. It's more or less running it. If we see what was done during the mint, it was directed actually and organized by Animoca, not by Yuga Labs. Then you should know this, and this was aha for me, as I like aha experience, as I understood that. Animoca is the biggest investor in Yuga Labs. So they own actually Yuga Labs. And if you analyze furthermore the other owners of the Yuga Labs, you will find over there were no names, like for example FTX. And now remember who is in the board, FTX, Animoca. So all those guys are actually investors, or many of them are investors of Yuga Labs. But you will find also some other very interesting investors in Yuga Labs that are suddenly taking part in this game. And I will tell you how. if you issue this kind of tokens, usually, I could do that. I can issue now Ape School token, but this Ape School token would not be, probably not be, maybe even never, listed on the exchanges like Coinbase, like FTX, and so on. You can guess how long did it take to list the ApeCoin on Coinbase, FTX, and all other exchanges as well. I can tell you, and I'm sure that you will know, it was done even immediately. So this means as soon as the ApeCoin was issued, it was immediately listed on all those exchanges. But just for you to understand, why is that important? Because if it's listed on those exchanges, people can buy it. If I now issue a school coin, nobody will be able to buy it, because you can go to Binance, but you will not find Ape School coin because it's not listed. This is one point. And another point, the financial products, like for example, derivatives, can be created only if the coin is listed. If it's not listed, nobody will create this kind of products. So this means as the ApeCoin was listed, more or less institutions, let's call it like that, so the big traders and so on, were able to buy it immediately. And this was creating demand, and this pushed the price up. And this will not change. And why this will not change? Because the guys like Coinbase, MoonPay, FTX, and so on, they are owner of the co-owner and investors in Yuga Labs. So they have interest to push this coin even more and more and to support it as much as possible. Maybe through staking products, lending products, or whatever derivatives or whatever can be created as a financial product. Interesting, right? And then you see that these guys are sitting in the board of ApeCoin. And now we have something else which is very interesting. You know that you can use ApeCoin to buy NFTs on OpenSea. There are not that many currencies or tokens which you can use to do that. I think there are just 3 of them or 4 of them, something like that. This is something which is very interesting. And I will tell you in 5 minutes what is the reason for that. There is a reason. And if you see the reason, this will be the second aha experience. Okay, but before we go in that, let me tell you something else. Animoca is one of the biggest players in the world related to the Web3 gaming industry. Not just Web3, but general gaming industry. They're really huge. They're investing in lots of different gaming areas, in games and so on. Suddenly, some weeks ago, they published first play-to-earn game called Benji Bananas, in which you can earn apes. Why is this, ape coins? Why is this interesting, at least for me? It's showing the strategy of Animoca. It's showing the strategy that if they are developing something new, they are trying to push ApeCoin. And it makes sense because on one side, they are investing lots of money in the metaverse, like, for example, other side. And this metaverse will be a playground and universe for the ApeCoin. If they want to use it and the people are to use it, they will push it whenever they can. So that's why they are already now developing other games and other products where they can push the ApeCoin as well. And now let me show the picture, and this is the biggest shock that I had. What are the channels in which Animoca could push? I'm not sure that they will, but they could push ApeCoin, because ApeCoin is belonging to them, actually. They are the biggest player from my point of view. Everything is just my view. This is the universe of Animoca. Can you imagine that, guys? And I promised to you that I will tell you why you can pay and buy NFTs on the OpenSea with ApeCoins. Because who is the investor of OpenSea? Animoca. And how the puzzles are getting together and the picture is created, the new picture is created, at least picture that I have. Maybe I'm wrong, guys. But just check the names on this slide. You will see Axie Infinity, you will see Atari, you will see MetaMask, you will find OpenSea, you will find, I think, Polygon. You will find every company or almost every company which has the name in Web3 space. You will find it here. And now I'm sure Animoca will not be able to push ApeCoin in all those channels. But if they are just successful in part of that, it's already huge. In just 1% of those companies, if they start using ApeCoin, okay, what are we talking about? This is the view which I have. This is the business view that I see on behind. And now let's go a little bit more in the concrete topics. I told you that there is a part of the organization called Ape Foundation, which is actually doing the execution. This part of the organization has a budget. This budget is publicly available as all data. So I collected all this data just from the publicly available data. It's nothing which I got somewhere, okay? So if we check, let's say, the public available data for the budget of the Ape Foundation, we will see exactly what will be the short-term target till end of this year of the ApeCoin Foundation and general for the ApeCoin space. Let's check the budget. You see 3.2% of the total ecosystem funds, and this is huge, shall go and will go into the gaming sector. And now compare this with that. The biggest part of the cake where the investments are done of the Animoca is gaming. So, and you remember the definition in the beginning, it should be for the gaming. So the big element and big strategy is in the gaming, definitely. And now let me give you just one more point, let's say, dedicated to the analysis of the budget. Let's come back to this picture. What do you think? How many different NFTs are over there? I see lots of them. So Axie Infinity is creating NFTs. OpenSea is dealing with NFTs. Metaverse is targeting the strategy. Metaverse, I mean other side, is targeting the strategy to include all collections, NFT collections, or the major collections, doodles and so on, in the metaverse. So there will be lots of different NFTs. And if we talk about NFT space of Animoca, it's a really huge. But how can you make the best money in that huge space? If you give to those companies tools to connect with each other, you cannot force them, let's say, to use tomorrow ApeCoin. It will not be possible. They will not throw away the strategies which they had and just implement something else. They will not do that. But if you create the tools which those companies can use to create additional profits by cooperating with each other, everybody will do that because it's one family and it's making profits at the end. And now let's come back to the budget. Let's check the last point of the budget, development of ApeCoin NFT marketplace. Imagine that. Imagine if those companies, at least some of them, are creating the new profits by using the new platform to trade with own NFTs. Huge. Really, really huge. So these are the points which are, for me, creating very interesting perspective of the ApeCoin business and business model behind. And if I analyze a little bit more, in order to find, am I really right or not? Maybe I'm just, I have a great creative fantasy or whatever. But you see on the bottom of this slide, on the left side, you see the 5 points, which is Animoca telling to their shareholders on the official shareholder meeting what is actually the reason, or how do they understand, or what is the influencing the market, let's say, and mostly in order to grow. And you will see 2 points which are relating to the gaming. So this means Animoca itself is expecting that the biggest growth of the Web3 market will come from the gaming. And that's why the Animoca is pushing the gaming topics the mostly. They are developing universe, means other side, metaverse, for gaming. They are developing currency, means token, means ApeCoin, for gaming. And everything else is related to the gaming. Even commerce is more or less business side of the gaming. It makes sense, absolutely, because if you see the numbers, how the gaming market is developing, it's a huge. Especially in Asia, and Animoca is Hong Kong-based company. Okay, so coming back to some more concrete topics related to the tokenization of the tokens. So we are back to the reality now. So this was the fantasy and the story as I see it. And now I'm coming to the reality. There are just 1 billion tokens on the market, and there is no chance to burn them, no chance to create new tokens. So that's it, it's fixed. 62% of that are partially already distributed in the market, and partially they are locked, and partially they will be unlocked over following 48 months. This is basically to control the value, actually. If you put the big quantity at once on the market, the value will decrease, and they don't want to do that, so they will increase the supply slowly, and the market will take it, and I think the price will not be influenced badly. You should know that a big part of those funds which are in the moment on the market were airdropped to the NFT holders. So if you had Bored Apes or any of Mutant Apes, you could claim your tokens, you could get them, and overnight, let's say, many people earned lots of money because the value was going high. You understand now why. So this was like the initiation of the market. 38% is still held by the founders or are given to the founders, to the Yuga Lab itself, and the people which were involved in the project. I think they deserve it because they've done a really great job, and I think this is really interesting platform for the future. I promised you that we will talk about the utilities as well. I see it like this. Every community, every NFT project could take the ApeCoin and could create utilities around that. It's a not privilege of the Yuga Labs. They are doing it, but everybody can do that. If we are talking about the utility, which is Yuga Labs providing to the holders of their NFTs, then it's huge as well from my point of view. One of the biggest utilities, which was accepted by the community is, and defined by the community, by the way, is staking system. So this means whoever owns one of the apes, doesn't matter if it's Bored Ape or Mutant Ape, can stake it, can use it as a key and stake, let's say, the ape coins. And now I will show you the picture, what is possible to earn if you do that. And this is absolutely insane. It's great. So if you stake it for the 1 year, for example, you can earn 2042 ape coins. And you should know that every Mutant Ape owner received and claimed for one Mutant Ape exactly this amount. So this means if I was owning one of the Mutant Ape, I received 2042 ape coins. And if I stake it now, if I still have that mutant or whatever mutant, doesn't matter, and ape coins, I can stake it. And within 3 years, I can earn with one mutant more than 6,000 ape coins. Ape coin in the moment, I think the value is around $5. So this means in 3 years, you can earn lots of money, $30,000. Not bad. And this money is already, let's say, existing in the system. It's more or less locked and can be used, I think 17% or something like that, yes, and will be used to pay the owners of the NFTs. Not bad utility, I can tell you. Okay, these are the great topics. This is the great story, and I think lots of interesting things can happen. Most of them are depending on the key player, and I think key player is Animoca. Everything is my opinion and my view. Let me give you some points which I think that should be improved so that this system is getting even better. I think the DAO is in the moment working really like a company, but company which is missing the income part. What does it mean? If you want to join any community and if you want to help by your own hands to work on something, it's usually very easy. I mean, if you want to join, I don't know, some charity organizations or some non-profit organization, you just call them and tell them, hey, I want to help you. I want to do something and to help the society by that. You cannot do that in this DAO. I tried that. I wanted to help in the education area. I didn't have any kind of person to contact to. I tried as well, but there was no feedback. So it's not really organized. It will be, I'm sure, improved, but in the moment it's not. Then for the certain issues and certain topics, let's say they are paying from my point of view too much. So somehow this financial controlling mechanism is still not implemented and it's not really working. So if you see that they are paying for creation of 2 newsletters per month, 400 apes per month, this is really a lot, lots of money. So I don't know, this should be maybe better controlled. I don't see the income strategy, but please just remember, these are the disadvantages that I see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't see everything which is existing. Okay, so I don't see the income strategy, at least it's not transparent. And this is the next point, the transparency. They done a lot, of course, in the last weeks or months to improve the transparency. So nowadays you can really read lots of things about what is happening in the DAO, but it's still not good from my point of view. Lots of things are still missing. Support of the ecosystem, I think, is still not good. If we are thinking about gaming, I'm sure that it will be better than in all other areas. But if we are thinking about ecosystem in other areas, like, for example, online shops or something like that, I still cannot implement a simple payment function in the ApeCoins. I tried it. I wanted to implement online shop and I wanted to accept only ApeCoins, but it was not possible because there is I could do it by myself, develop everything by scratch, but it would be much easier if there is some kind of API or some kind of service provider or whatever which could help me, and we don't have that. If you don't have that, the e-commerce and commerce platforms and system cannot grow. So you need that in order to grow in the ecosystem. So these are the disadvantages. Now, for the beginners among you, I want to give you an overview of the process, how to buy it. It's actually very easy, and we can go it very fast through that. You can first you have to register on any kind of exchange platforms. If you are already registered, it's easy, of course. If not, you should do that. Then you have to transfer some money on that platform. You can use, of course, credit card, and in that case, you don't need to transfer first the money. But usually it's easier to transfer the money, I think, or it's up to you to see depending on the platform. If you have the money on the platform in your account over there, you can exchange with 2 clicks, let's say, your fiat money with ApeCoins. And now you can make the decision. Now we are at the step 3. You can make a decision. Do you want to leave the money on the exchange platform? I would not advise you that. Or you want to move these ApeCoins to your wallet. I advise you and I recommend you to move in your wallet because it's more secure. You can choose whatever wallet you like, but this wallet should support Ethereum network, of course, because ApeCoin, remember, is based on Ethereum network. In order to see it in the wallet, you will need to, especially if you're using MetaMask, you will need to add that token. Of course, it's a smart contract, which is separate. You have to add it. And to do that, on the most simplest way is to go to this page called CoinMarketCap and to press this icon. Immediately, MetaMask will pop up and you just need to sign or confirm, and this will add the token to your wallet and you will see it. That's it. It's very, very, very simple. But if something is simple, then it's maybe simple for the hackers to steal it as well. So you have to be careful about that. And that's why I want to give you some important hints about that and tips. First, use hardware wallet. Hardware wallets are usually more secure because you simply can detach them and put them in the safe or wherever. And software wallets you cannot. So that's why use hardware wallet. I recommend you to separate your funds, means money which you have, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. Usually people are working more with NFTs and less, or depending what is your strategy. If you are trading, then you should do this anyway. If you are doing some kind of savings, then you should again do it anyway. So I would separate NFTs and cryptocurrency. If you want to take part on the votings, I recommend you to create 2 wallets, to put the major amount of your money, of your ApeCoins in the first one, for example, and to leave just 1 or 2 coins in the second one. And this second one, usually people are calling proxy wallet. And this wallet is just used to vote somewhere. So if something happened during the voting and if scammers scam you, you will just lose 1 or 2 coins. That's it. And this amount of coin will be probably enough in order to vote. I recommend strongly always to use Burner wallet. So whatever, especially nowadays, because free mint is so popular. But if you are doing free mint in the wallet where you have thousands of ApeCoins, sorry guys, it's your fault. Don't do that because the scammer can easily scam you. Yes, talk to the people. Ask the people about experiences before you use something. Use just trustful sources for any kind of financial products. And if you are not sure if it's really okay or not, ask somebody, for example, in the Discord. And if it's looking really, really good, don't do it. because if it's too good, it's most probably scam. This is very important, and this is not just dedicated to the ApeCoin, it's generally like that. Nobody will give you money just like that. Okay, so let me make a small conclusion, let's say, about all topics that we just discussed. First, I think the space, I call it ape space and I call it ApeCoin space, it's strongly influenced by the image of Bored Apes and mutant Bored Apes. Of course, because they are related to each other. Yuga Labs was initiator of everything. They have a great marketing, and this will be used even more in the future. Many utilities, let's say, and even more utilities will be created, which are related to the ApeCoin and to the NFTs from Yuga Labs. I hope the other NFT collections will use ApeCoin as well, especially after the development of other side, because in that case they will see that they can use it and it's great. So in that case we will have more utilities related to the ApeCoin. I'm expecting that ApeCoin is becoming native currency of other side. It's communicated like that, so I think it's quite for sure that it will be like that. I think Animoca will push it more and more into the own ecosystem, and I showed you the picture, how big is that ecosystem, and just if 1% of those companies is using, even just in the new developments, if they are using the ApeCoin, it will be already huge. I am expecting that ApeCoin is mostly used in the gaming environment and less in the business-related topics, but gaming is business enough, so that's quite good. And don't forget, already now, and this means after just 4 months, ApeCoin is already ranked on the rankings, if you compare it with other cryptocurrencies in the world on the place 34. So this is unbelievable in just 4 months. But if you now reflect with the story that I told you, it's maybe not that surprising. From my point of view, it's a great story. I think we can expect lots of interesting things. I don't think that other cryptocurrencies and tokens have the similar story. By far not, I'm totally sure. And maybe you should think about your opportunities in that space as well. But please don't forget, do your own research, even if you heard lots of interesting topics from me, and invest only if you can lose that money, if you can afford to lose that money. Otherwise, don't invest. That's what I wanted to tell you, and this is the ApeCoin as I see it. Do you have any kind of questions? It took us a little bit more than 1 hour, but I'm sorry for that. If you have any kind of questions, just go on. To be honest, I'm really not just surprised, but even shocked in some cases, in some parts of this story, because if you understand it like this, then it's getting totally different, I don't know, light. So, okay, guys, if you don't have any questions, no problem at all. Think about that. And if you have later questions, join me in the Discord server. I will give you the link now as well. So if be member of our community, and you can ask us and me whatever you want related to ApeCoin or whatever else, just join us. And don't forget, if you want to be part of Masters of Blockchain, and if you want to be on the whitelist, just send me DM and I will put you on the whitelist as well. Please don't forget, we limited the amount to 1,000. So this means the whitelist will be full, I'm sure, very soon. So you should hurry up if you want to be part of that. Otherwise, thank you very much for your attention. Let's see us and let's talk in the next presentation. If you are a parent, maybe on that one. If not, anyhow, it will be interesting. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next time, guys. Bye to everyone.